In today's video, I'm going to show you a web scraper that I built using Python. Now, before I get into the coding, I will show you the program in action, and I'll break down exactly how I built the program. So ideally, you shouldn't just scrape any website because some website owners, they frown upon that. So I'll just use my website. Let's just paste my website in. Great, so it did successfully scrape the website, and that is the output. That's the folder output. Okay, now I'll just put this out of the way. Now this is the folder that was just created, and this is the text file that was created. So this is the information that was scraped from my website. So there's not much text on the front page, but it did scrape all the text. Okay, now I'll get into the main part of the file. So this program was built using Python, and specifically the tkinter library. So tkinter is if you want to create a graphical program, anything with a graphical interface, you'll need tkinter, or there's some other ones out there, but just for this example, I used tkinter. So in this tutorial, I'm not going to explain everything in a minute detail. I'm just going to broadly cover off on how I put the program together. Okay, so what I'll do, the program is still open. Okay, let's just clear that. Okay, so the program starts off with some empty variables: user input, user output, current date, strips. This is all blank empty variables just to start off with. Now the window equals tkinter.tk parentheses. This initializes tkinter. Okay, so moving forward, window is going to be used to kick off the program, and you could see in the following lines of code. So you can't resize this window. See, width false, height equals false. The title is super scraper, and that's the background color. I'm not going to really go into what color that is. I just thought it looked nice. So each section here, let's bring this up. Type in the website you want to scrape. That is the main label. Please include the www. That is a secondary label. The text box entry, let's bring that up. This is a text box entry, and a scrape text button. This button here has a scrape command, and I will get into what that does exactly. Okay, now this part that says error with URL, that's the status label. So if I clear it, it starts off with being blank. So this section here, that's the status label. Okay, and where you see grid, that's the position of where all of the labels, button, and the text is. Okay, now where I've got F2 equals frame window, that's just to get the buttons together, clear and exit. See the clear button, exit button, clear and exit. That's just to have them together. You put them together in like a frame. That's just the syntax of what you need to do. And that's the grid, the F2 grid, and the background color. See, they're different color. Now, location of output file. Okay, that's just that text. And then there's path label for the location we'll leave. Okay, so let's say let's open the program again. So when the program first opens, this line here, where it's got the path label, for the location will reveal after successful web scrape. I'll show you why I've done it like that. So once you do a successful web scrape, it then shows you the location, okay? And, okay, let's just minimize this for the time being. Okay, so this is the main part. This is where the program kicks off, but I've also got a function called date file name. So what happens, assuming you have all the folder permissions, you can create a folder, you can create a text file. The text file that gets saved is the current date. That way, if you use it on different days, you can easily tell where the information is. Instead of just putting output.text, it dynamically changes depending what the date is. So this function, let's go to that now. Date file name. So global current date, that's because this is a variable I want globally available throughout the program. It's used in other functions as well. That's why I've made it global. So date time now. So that is from datetime, import datetime. Okay, that's a library you need to import if you want to use a date in your program. So the year variable is equal to datetime now.year. So when you run this program, the output is a year. So the year variable is datetime.now.year, and the month variable, same syntax as above, but .month. The way the month comes out is if it's July, it's a 7th month, it'll come up as just 7. I want 07. See how it's got 09 up here? See 29, 21, 21st of September. September is a 9th month. So this is an example of how this program is working. If the length of the month is equal to 1, which it was, the new variable update month is equal to 0 plus the string month. So the string month is basically going to be, in our example, 9. It's September now, so that's the 9th month. So this will bring up, because it's September, it'll hold the value of 9. And I'll make it a string. If the length of the string, which is going to be 1, because there's only one character, which is the 9, equals to 1, then this becomes true. Then the new variable of update month is equal to 0 plus the string month. So 0 plus 9, which is how we got 09 here. Else, update month is equal to the month, because this is only true if it's January, February, March, April, May. So October is the 10th month. So if I ran this program in October, this will become false because the length of the string month will be 10-0. The length will be 2 because there's 2 characters. Okay, so September now is just 9. That's the length of that. That's the function here, the length. September is going to be 1. But if it was October, this will be 2. Then this will become false. So hopefully that makes sense. So because we are in September, this would have become true. Then it would have added 09. Okay. Now the day is datetime now.day. So similar, same syntax as above, but datetime now.day. String day is string to the day, and the same thing here. So if today was the 1st of September or the 1st of any month, it'll just come up as 1. Okay. Now the reason why I've done it like this is I want whatever the day. If it's the 1st of 2021, it'll be 01/01/2021. So you don't have to do it like this, but I just want to do it just so you got 2 digits for the month and 2 digits for the day. So that way, if it's zero, the first day of the month, it'll be 01 instead of just 1. Okay. Now, once it's gone through all of the if-else statements for the month and the day, the current date. See, this whole here is the current date. The current date is the day, which is... See, I'm in Australia, so this is why I'm doing the date. Sorry, the date, then the month, then the year. See, the 21st of September, 2021. So if you're in America or a different country, you might have the month first, then the day. But in Australia, we do the day, the month, 2021. So if you want to change it around, you can just move these fields around. So this variable is going to hold update date, which is 21st, update month, which is 09, and the year 2021. Okay. So when you call up this function, date file name, it will deliver the current date. Okay. So that's the first time. So the first thing that happens in the program, it calls up the date. Then the Windows main loop. This kicks off the program. This opens the window. Okay, that when you do window main loop, that's what happens here. Okay. Now when I press the scrape button, there's a scrape command. Okay, let's go to the scrape command. So what the scrape's going to do is the user input and strips variable. I want them globally available because they're used in other parts of the program, and I don't want the program to crash. Okay. So you need to, depending on how you program, how you make a program, you might want variables available in different functions. Okay. So the user input, that's whatever is inputted here. Okay. It's going to be forced into lowercase, and this variable of user input is I've put a URL, okay, and the response, because it's going to access a website, see import requests. So you need this if you're going to use websites or access websites, okay. So response equals request.get the URL. Okay, that's just the syntax you need, and the next line, soup equals beautiful soup, parentheses, response.content, HTML parser. This is for HTML websites only. And this is the response, the content. Okay, so beautiful soup is a library within Python. If you want to, you know, scrape websites or get information from websites, you're going to use beautiful soup, okay? So assuming a successful scrape, everything's going to be held into the soup variable, okay? And status code, when you're connecting to a website, when it successfully connects, you get the code 200, okay? That's a successful connection, okay? But because we're dealing with websites, if you're trying to scrape random websites, sometimes the website might be down or there might be issues with the website. So if you get a code that's not 200, so then unable to connect to a server. So let's just do an example of that. I'm just going to... Okay, great. So I just put a digit 1 and that made a status coder of anything other than 200. Okay, let's just clear that. Now, throughout when I was building this program, I got all these different types of errors. So just for, you know, ease of use, depending on the type of error, you might get a different message. Okay, so let's just try a different error. Let's just try, see, this is without the HTTP and it's brought the value error. Okay, so the way I've programmed this is I'm going to force the user to put in HTTP or the yes. With my website, it should work either way. Great, that works either way. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, so basically you don't want the program to crash. So when you're building a program, you want to anticipate all the different types of errors that can happen. So I've caught all the possible errors. So assuming there are no errors and the status code is 200, which means it's successful. This is the syntax you're going to use. This is from beautiful soup. So remember soup, beautiful soup, that variable. So this is a for loop. This is basically going to go through whatever's in the soup variable and basically put it into a list. You can see below how it looks here. All right, so the soup was the beautiful soup variable. So the soup is going to have all the website content. Then I've made a strips variable. It's going to create a list of whatever the soup variable has brought in, okay? And script.extract. This is the syntax for beautiful soup. If you go to Google and just have a look at beautiful soup, this is the type of syntax you need, you know, to filter through the information you get from a website, okay? So assuming a status code of 200, the website is put into a list. The print message is there for me as a developer just to make sure everything's working. And assuming this all happens, website successfully scraped. So where's the program again? So if website is successfully scraped, website successfully scraped. Excellent. Okay, so now assume all this happens, create folder function. There's a create folder function. So because this is built for Windows and it's possible you might not have permission to create a folder. So what the program does is, wherever you have the executable file and you run the program, it will create a scrape output folder where the file is, okay? So wherever you put, if you put this on your desktop, the scraper file, and you press, and you wish to scrape a website, it'll create a scrape output folder on the desktop, okay? So wherever the file is, it will attach a scrape output folder wherever the file is, okay? But sometimes you might not have permission. So with this command here, like this function here, if not OS path is directory. So for this saying, in a nutshell, if there is no directory called scrape output. So this is a syntax you need if you want to check for a directory. So I'm doing the opposite. If not, so if there isn't a folder called scrape output, then it's going to try to create the folder. And this except OS error, this is, imagine you don't have administrator access and you're not allowed to put file, you're not allowed to create folders or files, you know, if you have restricted access. Yeah, if you have restricted access, you're likely to get this type of error. Okay, and I'll just give you an example. Let me see if I've done this. Just 1 minute. Let's just go to... I'm just going to paste this into the program files of the C drive. Whoops. Let's just paste... Let's paste over. I can't remember which version. Okay. So this is a restricted folder for me. So I'm actually using a Windows 10 virtual machine. The current computer I'm using is actually a Mac. All right. So, yes, go away. Oh, hold on. The problem when you're using Windows and Mac, you have to interchange the buttons. You always get errors. So let's just Control C, Control V. See that? Unable to create directory, either get admin access or place application in another folder. That's because I don't have the access. Well, I can give myself permission, but I just want to test the program, because when you're building a program, you have to think what possible problems might future users encounter. So let's just keep that here. Unable to create directory, either get admin access. That's here. Because there wasn't a folder called scrape output, where when I pasted the program into the program files folder, it tried to, there wasn't a scrape output folder. It tried to create one and the system wouldn't allow it. Therefore, this error came up. If I didn't have this code here, you wouldn't know what's happening. It just won't create a folder, and depending, it might actually have an error message as well. You know, you don't want the program to crash, so you need to try to capture all possible problems. So at least with this program, if you are able to create a folder, it will create a folder. If you can't, then you at least get a message to indicate why you can't. All right. So assuming, so if there isn't a folder called scrape output and it can successfully make it, then it'll come to this line of code. If there is the directory called scrape output, write text to file. So it does everything step by step. So assuming there is a folder or it can create a folder, it will then go to write to text file function. It will access the global current date and the global strips variables from the other functions. And it will open this folder, this specific file. See, remember when I was saying there's the name of the file dynamically changes depending on the day? That's how I use the variable. And this is this A between the speech marks or the, is it speech marks or call? Whatever it is. This is for append and this is for encoding. If you don't put this, the file looks like a gibberish. It doesn't look good. It's unreadable. Okay. Now, I've just created a variable called text convert, because remember the strips is a list. See strips, that's a list. And see, text convert equals the strips but into a string. See, this is how you wrap, you know, this is strips is a list, and this is how you make it a string and put it into a variable called text convert. Okay, then file, write the text convert. This writes the output into a text file. So let's just have a look at the text file. So this is all the websites. Yeah, this is all the times we've been running. What I'll do is let me just clear this out. I'll actually delete. I'll do it from scratch again so you can see that it's all working. They should disappear. If I go here. Okay, beautiful. So if we come here, great. Okay, it's working. There we go. Yeah, and see, let's just have a look here. See, that's the content it copied, and I've got 2 blank lines. See this, the \n, that just goes to the next line, and then I've actually written these 5 dashes. 5 dashes go to the next line, 5 dashes. That way, if you're, let's say you're doing an assignment and you need to scrape content from different websites, you can at least see. Let's do it again. See, you could, if you do scrape different websites, there's a, you know, you can clearly identify the spaces. That way, you know, it's easier to manage the information. Okay, so assuming you can create the folder and it writes to a text file, it then goes to directory location function, and this directory function location, this is related to. Oh wait, wrong folder. Let's bring that up again. Okay, so all this does is it basically shows you the pathway of where the folder is. Okay, so directory name is a scrape output. That shows the absolute path of scrape output. Okay, and then the path label, well, that is here. Okay, this is, yeah, this is just when you first open the program, where it's got the folder location will reveal after successful web scrape. So the way I've programmed this, I don't want the folder location to reveal unless there's a successful scrape. See, when you successfully scrape, then it shows you. Let's do that one more time. Okay. Great. So now if I go here, you can see all the different successful scrapes. And that's pretty much the program. I can't really think what else to say. Yeah, I'm actually going to put a link below the video today. You can actually go to my website and download it. It's freely available. So don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in more tutorial videos, leave me some comments. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.